Now, today's episode is in response to a question from a YouTube viewer who had watched my Addicted to Praise uh, episode of a few weeks back and wanted to know. All right, in that video, I talked about how certain very successful writers, some I'd known, some I'd simply heard about, would want to know, what do you think of my stuff? What do you think of me? Asking readers or friends or admirers, tell me what you like about my stuff, about what I've written. And I think it's a terrible question to ask. It's the wrong question to ask. And it showed to me that you've got to make a decision about why you do this work you do. And it can't be just for the praise. But this viewer, Michael Duncan, I believe his name was, said, well, what kind of questions? What's a better question to ask if not that? Because, and he probably didn't, we were just doing a YouTube exchange. But like he within his question to me was the awareness like, well, I do care what people think about my stuff. I do want people to like my stuff. I do want my stuff to be, I do want to reach people. I want to reach people, which is perfectly legitimate. And really, it was such a germane question to this channel, to what I'm doing on this podcast, because only question you can really ask that you can answer is, what's the story I want to tell? That's the only question you know the answer to. And I guess the secondary question, the follow-up question, is have I told it? And again, only you can answer that. Now, I know that doesn't seem like enough because it doesn't answer the question of will other people like it or not. But you'll never know that while you're working on it. When you're sitting down to work, you can only ask yourself one question. And it's either what do I want to write or what do other people want me to write? You can't try to do both. And there's only one of those that you know the answer to. And so writing and art and the arts in general, but the creative arts, is this great journey in exploring the truth that if you can fully satisfy yourself in this case, we'll talk about writing, the story you tell, you stand the best chance possible to reach other people. Or I should say, to rephrase that, the best way to reach other people is to satisfy yourself. But you have to be really clear about whether you have succeeded in satisfying yourself. So, in other words, the first question you ask, "What's the story I want to tell?" Great question. And like, just what is the story I want to tell? Not does the market want. I had my agent told me recently I should investigate the market before I wrote a book, and I almost lost my mind. But she's selling. Her job is to sell books, and so she's got to do that. Not what does the market want? No, no. Not what do editors want or women between the ages of 35 and 50 want. No, what's the story I want to tell? And then ask the question, have I told it? Have I told it? And a lot of times the answer is no. And don't share your work until the answer is yes. Because if you share your work before the answer is yes, before you say, yeah, that's it, the murkiness of it, the incompleteness of it, even though the unrealized vision will come across to readers as unrealized, incomplete. They'll have their criticisms of it and their complaints of it, but all of which will be an expression of you not fully finishing the work in a way that satisfied you. But you can't know whether you have satisfied yourself if you're sitting around worrying about what other people will think of it and whether they will like it. So, fearless writing is all about the practice of focusing only on what is the story you want to tell and whether you've told it or not, and not bringing what the reading world will think of it. And if you do that, if you really nail it and you write something that you go, yes, I would love to read that, now you got a great chance to reach other people. I don't know why it works that way. It seems contrary in a way. Always give them what they want. I don't know what they want. No, you give them what you want. You give them the gift that you asked for, but you've got to be really clear that the gift is complete. And if it is, you will find your readers. I guarantee it. That's the way it works. Indeed, it is. Hey, thanks, Michael, for your question. And if you folks have questions, lay them on me, baby. I love to respond to questions. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. So if you don't want to miss a dose, hit subscribe. That way you find it and other people find it. And if you like it, say so. Leave me a comment, leave me a question. I respond. That's the kind of guy I am. So until next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.